Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I've looked to drop this week. The first guy, Merrill of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mentioned early in the year when Kelly was on a great streak to sell him high, because obviously with the tough division and just his track record, the numbers weren't going to last with an ERA under 2 like he had going for the first month of the season. So on the season for Kelly, 54 innings, 3-3 record, 53 hits, 22 earned runs, 20 walks, 47 strikeouts. 4 quality starts at 3.67 ERA and a 1.35 whip. So right here, his numbers are still pretty good on the surface, is Merrill Kelly. But he's not going out there, and he's not pitched good baseball in the last 3 or 4 starts here. So the last few outings, May 17th at the Dodgers, 2 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 8 runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. May 22nd at the Cubs, 5 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks. And May 23rd again versus the Dodgers. Not a horrible outing, but he didn't go deep into the ball game. 5 innings, got the loss, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. So right here, Kelly's struggling for this Arizona Diamondback team, and he has been dropped in 4% of fantasy leagues, but right now he's still owned in 47%, and I know he's got a pretty good matchup on paper June 3rd at the Pirates, but right now in shallow leagues I just can't trust Kelly, because he's been getting hit around over the last month of the season pretty much here, and he's a guy who would drop, especially in a tough division, and especially with Arizona, a team that's not really going to be good this season and giving him run support. The next guy is Knebel of the Philadelphia Phillies. So Knebel, they signed him in the offseason after he had a pretty good few seasons with the Dodgers, and he became the closer, but the Phillies over the last few seasons, for whatever reason, they can never have a steady closer, and the bullpen always struggles here. So Knebel on the season so far, 21 innings, 1-4 record, 8 saves, 18 hits, 8 earned runs, 10 walks, 19 strikeouts, 3 blown saves already, 3.43 ERA, and a 1.33 whip. So Knebel here, he struggled mightily, and especially over the last week here, he's gone out there and blown a couple saves. So the last 2 outings for Knebel, May 26th at Atlanta, 2/3 of an inning in that one, a walk and a strikeout. May 29th at the Mets, 1 1/3, got the loss with the blown save, 4 hits, a run, a walk, 2 Ks. And then May 30th versus San Francisco in that one, they were up in that game was Philly. 1 inning he went Knebel, 2 hits and a run. So right here, he's struggling mightily. The Phillies, they've lost a lot of games, and they're already 11 games out is Philadelphia in the NL East. I know there's plenty of ball games still left where anything can happen with 110, 112 games left in the season. But right now, Knebel's struggling mightily. And like I mentioned, this Philly teams have bullpen problems and closes by committee on and off over the last few seasons. So right now, while he's not getting the job done and he's hurting fantasy owners in ERA and losses, I would drop him until he gets things going, or Phillies make a change, which definitely could happen at closing. You don't want to deal with that situation altogether, so I would drop Knebel this week. The next guy, Russo Mouzin of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Russo Mouzin, pretty decent season, but the last few games here, it's been a problem for him. So on the season, 46 2/3, 5-2 record, 38 hits, 18 earned runs, 13 walks, 44 strikeouts, and only 1 quality start on the season. So right now, he's owned in 80% of fantasy leagues here is Russo Mouzin. And the ERA has been good too, 3.47 with a 1.09 whip on the season. So right here, ERA is good in the mid-3s in the American League East. But the problem with him is he don't go deep into ball games for this Ray team. He's going to go 5 innings and max, it seems like. And hey, he does have 5 wins with only going the 5 innings pretty much every game here. But that's not going to last. And we saw it in his last outing where he got hit hard by a mediocre Texas Ranger offense on May 18th versus Detroit. 5 innings, got the win. 4 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. May 25th versus Miami, 5 innings, got the win in that one, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. And then May 30th at Texas, they hit him hard, 3 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. So right here, I know this Tampa Bay Ray team, they always find guys like this diamond in the roughs and guys out of nowhere on cheap salaries who help this team, and they always compete for a playoff spot or go deep into the playoffs. Here's the Rays. But right now, in terms of fantasy baseball, Russo Mouzin, he's not getting quality starts. He's getting wins, luckily, with 5 innings, and his offense and bullpen are keeping up for him right now. And also, he's not a big strikeout pitcher. So right now, with all those factors against him, not going deep into games, him not getting quality starts, just no reason to have him on your roster, in my opinion. And to be owned in 80% of fantasy leagues is a lot. And another factor as well, he pitches in a very tough AL East. The next pitcher I look to drop here is Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. A lot of people went out to the wire over the last few days here to pick Strider up. He got added in 25% of leagues for this outing. He was going to have with the Arizona Diamondbacks in last night's game, but he just was horrible and they lost the ball game. So right here, he's owned in 42% of leagues is Strider. And on the season, 28 2/3, 1-2 record, 18 hits, 11 earned runs, 13 walks, 44 strikeouts, which obviously is a big number in 28 2/3. And he was a reliever as well early in the season with a blown save under his belt. So the last few outings here for Strider were relief outings before he got the start in May 30th game at Arizona. May 20th at Miami, 1 inning in that one, 2 hits, no runs. May 25th versus Philly, 2 2/3, got the win in that one. 2 walks, 5 Ks, no runs. And then last night at Arizona, 4 1/3, got the loss. 4 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. So right here, the only thing Strider's got going, the ERA is pretty decent at a 3.45 on the season with a 1.08 whip. So, but still, he's going out there, and he's only a middle reliever. Obviously, this Brave team, their team with good bullpen guys at the end, with Jansen as the closer, Will Smith at the setup man, and Colin McHugh, a pretty good reliever as well. So Strider, he was in the middle relief, but now we got the spot start, and who knows if we'll get another start again for this Brave team. But after versus weak Arizona offense in last night's game, not coming through, he's a guy that shouldn't be owned in more than 20% of fantasy leagues until we see further from him. But the only thing legit with him is the strikeouts, and still the ERA is pretty good, even though we got hit pretty hard in last night's game. In the fifth and final pitcher I look to drops another closer here, Giovanni Galagos, so the St. Louis Cardinals. I mentioned this over the last couple weeks here in my videos for pitchers to add when I would talk about Ryan Helsley, that Galagos, in my opinion, he's one of the bottom half closers in the league here. Now the St. Louis Cardinals in the latest ball game, he pitched the 6th and 7th inning. So obviously Galagos, he's a guy that they're not going to see highly as the closer, especially if he's pitching the 6th and 7th inning of a ball game. So on the season here for Galagos, 17 2/3, 0-2 record, 8 saves, 15 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 21 strikeouts, 2 blown saves, 3.06 ERA, and a 1.08 whip. So Galagos, he's blown a couple saves this season, and he's been shaky in the ball games. He has closed out as well, with runners usually on base and stuff. So right here, he's come in, and like I mentioned, he's pitched only in middle relief now with Galagos, and that's not a good thing. So right here, he was to close a job, it looks like. Helsley did give up his first run of the season earned finally last night's ball game. By Helsley, he's the guy over there in St. Louis you want to add at the closer position. So now with Galagos pitching middle relief and getting his first hold here, he's owned in 92% of fantasy leagues, but that number quickly should drop. Obviously, with him pitching middle relief, and there's no value pretty much unless it's a Clay Holmes or someone you're going to have on your fantasy team where relievers lights out, who's not getting saves but still getting a high amount of strikeouts, getting wins, and having a good ERA. So that's a few pitchers I look to drop here for Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season.